Welcome back to the South Park City Museum series on the Victorian Barroom. We are back at Rach's Place, the actual saloon that was brought here to Fairplay, Colorado, to South Park City Museum from nearby Alma, Colorado. And here we have my view from opposite the bar. So I'm going to leave it to Amy to explain what's going on here.
All right, so first of all, there is a joke involved in this place because the man who originally owned this saloon was called Rach. It was a nickname. But when he went to go have the sign painted for Rach's Place, the sign painter assumed that Rach must be short for Rachel, for a woman. So for all the years that this amazing building stood in its original location, it had a sign that said Rachel's Place. And Rach apparently had a sense of humor, and he just left it there. So this painting was not actually in Rach's Place originally. It was actually in another saloon in Colorado. It was painted by Charles Craig, who was actually much better known for painting some of the beautiful landscapes that we're seeing out here in Colorado. He was, by his calling, he was a landscape artist. But he was also known to trade paintings to pay his bills or for goods and services in kind. So he actually painted this nude for a high-end saloon at the time. She lived in a special private room, and customers could actually pay to view her. The leaf was not there at that time. At that time, she was not actually named, but when South Park City Museum opened and Rach's Place was moved here, the man who owned that saloon at the time actually donated the painting. And so at that time, she was called Rachel in honor of the fact that for all of those years, Rach's Place had a sign that said Rachel's Place. So this is now Rachel in honor of that. We have actually been really, really happy that we've been able to contribute to her restoration by being here. So while we were here at South Park City Museum, actually the day after we're filming this, we're actually holding a fundraiser here that is going to cover the cost of having this beautiful, beautiful frame recently restored. So it's been restored. The artisan was happy to do it at cost. And so we're going to be able to cover that cost with a fundraiser right here in Rachel's Place. Rach's Place.
Rach's Place. Right.
Rach's Place. So, you know, they always say try to leave a place a little bit better than you found it, and we're just so happy that we could contribute to that.
So there you have it, folks. You can see this for no extra charge with your admission to South Park City Museum. And I'll bet if we look through the files, we can find an authentic Victorian mixed beverage that would do Rachel justice.
Well, you know, she's a little bit of a fallen flower, isn't she?
Well, that seems okay for in here. We'll go see what we can find out. You know, this isn't usually done.
Excuse me?
You want a cigar too?
I'm good, thanks.
All right. Well, in honor of that sweet daisy Rachel that we just met, we are going to make a whiskey daisy from Harry Johnson's Bartender's Guide of 1888. This is a really good beverage, and he actually comments that nearly anybody will like this. So even if you're not into the full-on taste, I guess, of booze, the whiskey daisy might be the one for you. And this is a neat one. So we're going to start off with our glass. And we're going to do a half a tablespoon of just plain white sugar. Two or three dashes of lemon juice. A dash of lime juice. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it with this wedge of lime. It's like a dash. Squirt of siphon seltzer. Feel free to just use soda water for this, but seltzer water will actually work just fine. Not too much. And we are going to get the sugar dissolving in that. All right, we are going to fill our glass part full of ice. They say to use fine shaved ice. Now at the time, ice was shipped in blocks, and so you actually did have a special tool to shave the ice off. Ours is not going to look quite like that today, but if you really want to get deep into the weeds, you can try shaved ice. On top of that, we are going to do 2 ounces of whiskey of your choice. We are using Alan Bishop's work today, the Lee Sinclair 4-grain bourbon, bottled in bond. This stuff is fantastic. You can't beat it. If you remember our episode on the Manhattan, when we auditioned a number of different whiskeys, this one won. Neat thing about this is it includes oats, which is it's starting to come back a little bit, but it was forgotten in whiskey for a long time. But oats really add a nice, the mouthfeel, the kind of full body roundness of it. You can't mistake it once you've had it once.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Alan's stuff anyway.
Exactly. The man is an artisan. Mm-hmm. So 2 ounces of that, that's 4 tablespoons if you don't have anything else to measure with. We are going to do half a pony of yellow chartreuse. Half a pony is just half an ounce. That is 1 tablespoon. Remember, the yellow chartreuse was something that came about during the Victorian period. Chartreuse itself goes much further back, but this was kind of formulated to be a little bit milder than a lot of than kind of the earlier chartreuses were, to kind of be more palatable on the bar, I guess, for people who might not want the green chartreuse just punching them in the face. All right, so after that, we are going to, now if you have any extra space, you can fill it with more ice, but we're doing pretty good here. So we are going to empty this into a shaker. We got a little bit of extra sugar on the bottom, so we're going to scoop that in. What's going to happen next is we are going to, in the bottom of our glass, put any kind of fruit or berry of your choice. Okay, we are all hung up these days on a specific garnish for a specific drink, but they just did what was in season, what was their preference. And so we found some nice strawberries.
Yeah, we're so used to we can go to the grocery store and get whatever it is we want.
Right.
This is a different world.
Especially up here in Colorado.
Yeah, up here, way up here in the Rockies.
Do a couple of blackberries in there. Now we're going to take our Whiskey Daisy in our shaker. Get it nice and mixed and chilled down. Don't over mix it, so hopefully you get a little bit of the fizz left off of your seltzer or soda. Strain that on top of the berries. Now, my dear, I know you can drink your whiskey like Calamity Jane.
Thank you, my love.
But see if you think that anybody would like this.
Nearly anybody.
Nearly anybody.
We'll see if we're nearly anybody. Oh, I like that a lot. I think that's great.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with Alan's bourbons.
No.
It's just so full-bodied and perfectly balanced. And then the yellow chartreuse just shining through that with just enough sweetness. You know, it's probably a little bit sweeter than I would usually prefer a drink on a nightly basis. But the Victorians had quite a sweet tooth.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I feel like the citrus and the sweet actually balance each other really nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that kind of overcomes a little bit of that. And then, again, with a good bourbon. Oh, that's great.
Another tip on this, something that we've done at home that worked really nicely was a bold, spicy rye. Works really well in this because then you really get some balance going on with that sweetness kind of cutting down that spice, but the character of the rye shining through. So,
Yeah, our hosts were very happy to help provide quality assurance and help us test this recipe.
Indeed,
so.
yeah. This is one of the longest ones that's really taken us to punch through and get right. But yeah. If you want a really delightful taste of the 1880s, just like maybe they were drinking up here at Rachel's place, try a Whiskey Daisy. Don't forget to check below for the links to how you can support South Park City Museum. They're doing a lot of great work up here, and they're completely supported based on the community and how much people.
This place exists because people wanted it to.
Exactly.
So we hope you'll be a part of that.
Yeah. So give them some support. If you want to give us some support, we appreciate that too. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe and the bell icon to keep up with what we're doing. And we are looking forward to more adventures here in South Park City Museum. Here's to you, folks, and to you, my dear.
Thanks, love.
Well, this is the first time I've seen a woman behind my bar.
Well, get used to it.